Hello music fans, you're watching Death by Unicorn, where we talk about metal, rock, and prog music. And since December 2024 is over, it's time to count down my top 10 albums, my favorite albums that came out in December 2024. They're going to span multiple genres, including progressive rock, post-hardcore, mathcore, post-metal, melodic death metal, folk rock, alternative rock, and progressive metal. So you get a lot of variety here. A lot of people don't know about these albums that came out in December because a lot of people make their year-end lists in early December and just ignore everything that comes out in December. So I want to give these albums some love. 9 of these I'm putting in my very good tier, and then my number 1 I'm putting in my excellent tier. No near masterpieces or masterpieces, but still all really great music. So let's start with number 10, which is Antony Kalugin with his album Constellations. It's instrumental symphonic progressive rock, the 9th solo album by Antony Kalugin from the Ukraine. And I'm familiar with him from his work under his Carthagin project, which is very good. And I think he also has another project called Sunchild. And he's just one of the best modern prog rock keyboard players at the moment, in my opinion. Everything he makes is very good, but I still haven't heard anything from him that blew my mind or that I consider a near masterpiece or masterpiece level. It's all very much inspired by past 70s symphonic prog, but if you like that kind of thing, if you like 70s prog sounds, definitely check this out. I was hoping he'd bring in some guest vocals on this, but the whole album's instrumental. It has a bit of more of an electronic ambient vibe to it, and also a bit of classical vibes as well, but mostly retains his signature sound of instrumental symphonic prog rock. Check it out if you're a fan of Mike Oldfield and Rick Wakeman of Yes, as it sounds like a mix of those two, with the occasional guitar lead that reminds me of David Gilmour of Pink Floyd, and some parts even sound a little bit like Porcupine Tree on this album. If that sounds good to you, check out Constellations by Antony Kalugin. At number 9, I've got CrazyEightyEight with Columbarium. This is a deluxe version of the debut album Burning Alive by CrazyEightyEight, but it features 2 new singles as well as 6 new versions and 12 instrumentals, basically just an instrumental version of the album. And it's post-hardcore with melodic metalcore, alternative rock, and pop influences. Great vocals by Lauren Babick, who's also from Canada, and I enjoy her work with Red Handed Denial quite a lot. She can sing and scream so well, so I like to check out any band that she is in. So that's what led me to check out CrazyEightyEight Columbarium, and I was not disappointed. So check that out. It's very good as well. At number 8, I've got the band Ifall with Stillness and Trust. This is progressive rock with folk and psychedelic rock influences. Also in my very good tier, and it's the 3rd album by this musical project by Caio Duarte, a Brazilian musical producer, musician, writer, film director, film producer, screenwriter, and he works with some others, and he's now living in London. Solid, accessible singer-songwriter prog here with some twists and turns every now and then to keep it interesting. That sounds good to you. Check out Stillness and Trust by Ifall, or maybe it's Ifall, Ifall, all one word. At number 7, I've got Frontierer, and they released an EP called The Skull Burned Wearing Hell Like a Life Vest as the Night Wept. This is mathcore with gent, hardcore, technical death metal influences in there. They're a band from Scotland for fans of Car Bomb and Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza. The opening track, The Skull Burned, is the one I heard first on Bandcamp, which made me check out the EP. The whole EP is only 12 minutes long, but it's 12 minutes of some of the most pummeling, intense, chaotic, hardcore, mathcore music I've heard this year. At number 6, my 6th favorite album of December 2024 is Culak with Ends Astrale. This is post-metal with black metal, doom metal, progressive metal, folk metal, and technical death metal, even some gent, shoegaze, and classical influences in there. This is the 20th album by this prolific one-man project from the US. Started back in 2013, and he's already released 20 albums. So he's putting out about 2 a year. This is Christian Culak, and this is the first album of his that I've heard. I checked out the track Brave the Tempest on Bandcamp. That made me put it on my list. On this album, the production here is a bit on the raw side. You can tell it's a one-man project, kind of recorded at home, but it's not bad sounding, and it's kind of charming to hear some raw production. The instruments and songwriting are well done, and they take you on a journey. The drumming's well performed, guitar playing solid. Sounds like there's some violin in here as well. Initially, I wasn't too sold on the sound of his harsh vocals, but they started to grow on me throughout the album. The music's actually quite relaxing and beautiful, even with some moments of rawness and brutality. All right, at number 5, we got Druparia with The River Above. This is melodic death metal with metalcore, black metal, thrash metal, and progressive metal influences. It's the debut album by this American band. I heard the early single on Bandcamp, which was the title track, The River Above. And on this whole album, I like the guitar playing. I like the great melodic riffs throughout. All harsh vocals here. For fans of In Flames, At the Gates, Trivium, and As I Lay Dying, sounds like a mix of those bands. So that's Druparia with The River Above. At number 4, I've got Fish in a Birdcage and their album Mentors. This is a different one for me because it's a genre I don't usually listen to, but it's folk rock. It's got a bit of that indie rock influence in there, and it's the 4th album by this one-man project from Canada. This is Dustin Townsend. Never heard a full album by him before this, but I heard 2 of the early release singles from this. I thought they sounded cool. I checked this out. The whole album greatly exceeded my expectations. I really love the vocal melodies, harmonies, and performance. Chord progressions of the songs are all pretty standard, not too complex, but the arrangement sounded amazing with lots of cello and piano, some songs with guitars, and even the occasional horn. I considered even putting this in my excellent tier, but since it's not really one of my main genres, I only felt comfortable putting it as high as very good for now. At number 3, also in my very good tier, is WIZRD, spelled WIZRD, with their album Elements. This is progressive rock, the 2nd album by this Norwegian band. If you're a fan of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard and Motorpsycho, I think you'll like this. It's got that old school psychedelic prog rock sound to it, and just great musicianship. I like the track that's just 3 exclamation points. It's a great instrumental that shows their chops, and then National Day is also a great track. That sounds good to you. Check out WIZRD and their album Elements. And at number 2, I have Falling Up with their album Falling Up Presents the Chilling Alpine Adventure. This is alternative rock with electronic, experimental, and art rock influences. The 10th album by this American band. I think they split up in 2016, and this was recommended to me in the comments of one of my videos by a commenter named Andrew Budd, so thanks for that recommendation. I think I also saw Kyle from All Media Reviews mention this and mentioned really liking this, so I also really enjoyed it. One of the songs I love after my first couple listens here is Double Afterlife. I thought that one was really great. And the whole album's just beautiful. Check out Falling Up Presents the Chilling Alpine Adventure by Falling Up. But my number 1 album of December 2024 is a progressive metal album, of course, my favorite genre, with the band After Lapse and their album Pathways. This is progressive power metal with symphonic influences. Check out the track Thanks But No Thanks for a preview of that. This is the 2nd album by this Spanish band, and I thought their first album, Face the Storm, from 2022 was also excellent. So this one continues After Lapse's excellence here. Really catchy melodies, really strong, powerful, clean vocals. No harsh vocals on this album. It's progressive in that some of the song structures are atypical, some time signature changes exist here, but all in all, it's not the most progressive metal music out there. It's fairly straightforward progressive power metal, but it's just well executed, well done, and just excellent. If you're a fan of Evergrey, it's kind of like that. I really enjoyed the track, Thanks But No Thanks. The bass guitar sounds great with some of that slapping, and the guitars, keys, and drums sound great in addition to the vocals. Just everything executed to perfection here. That's Pathways by Lapse, my favorite album of December 2024. What did you like most that came out in December 2024? Let me know down in the comments. And have you heard any of these albums that I mentioned? Let me know what you think of them. And hopefully I inspire you to check out some of the ones that you haven't heard. And let me know if you like them. Stay tuned for my next video. I'm going to probably be talking about what's coming out in January 2025. I also am likely going to soon make my top 25 albums of the entire year of 2024, which will likely feature a lot of prog metal. So if you like prog metal, hit that subscribe button, and so you can stay in the loop on when I post that. And stay tuned. Peace out.